So the other day we went to a restaurant. We don't go very often. We were at Texas Roadhouse, and they had mac and cheese as a side dish. And I was like, I can't eat that, but I'm going to make it at home. I'm going to feed my cravings. I'm going to not feel deprived. I'm going to make mac and cheese. So I did. It's better than velveeta. It's way better. Way better than box cheese. Alright, let's get to this. You're going to make a cup and a half of coconut flour. I would rather do like 1 cup of coconut flour and then a half a cup of almond flour just for the right consistency. Add 1 whole egg. I realized that this wasn't working so great with this mixer and I ended up switching to a fork because then you can get the clumps out. Next, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of psyllium husk, whole psyllium husk. You can buy this on Amazon. I will provide links in the description box below where you can click on it. This will help it be tacky and stick, which is what gluten does in wheat, and gluten is often what makes us sick. Obviously, eggs are also going to be helpful with this. And contrary to what you might think, we're actually going to be using the egg yolks instead of the egg whites for this particular mixture, because it's like, I want to imitate the egg noodles that you would buy, in a little cheapo package or whatever. I ended up not liking the consistency and added 1 extra egg yolk just because I really wanted it to be really tacky and really moist, and I didn't want it to dry out in the fridge. And then that way you can like clump it together, as you can see. If it's too flaky and too dry, don't be afraid to add another egg yolk or even decrease the amount of flour product that you're using. And then, put it in the fridge for an hour and go cuddle kitties. She was in my top to keep her safe from the other cat that was beating her up because she likes to cuddle. And you probably think that's really weird, but I just wanted to share with you because I'm a weirdo. Next, after a whole hour of doing the whole cuddling my cats and watching Netflix, we're going to put some avocado oil on the counter. So instead of putting flour on the counter to make sure that it doesn't stick when you roll out your dough, you're going to use oil. Now, oils at high temperatures are not the greatest, especially avocado and olive oils. However, I didn't want to smear butter on my counter, and this just worked for what I needed. I will also put the oil on my hands or put it on my rolling pin. If you have a better idea for an oil that can be cooked at high temperatures, let me know. That's keto friendly. I still haven't found any I'm satisfied with. Now, the big thing with this is you want to push it out towards the edge and then roll it back to you, otherwise it's going to flake off into little breaks. And as you can see, it kind of like breaks off the side if I push too hard, and I keep having to push down with my fingers. It's easy to fix, but it's kind of a work in progress. Now you can make noodles in all kinds of shapes. I'm lazy, I don't really care what the shapes are. You can roll it, you can make butterfly things. I just wanted little squares or little rectangles because I don't care what the shape of my noodle is. I know it looks cool in a package or like at the store. James came to our rescue and I was trying to peel this off the counter. If you use a spatula, it's a lot easier to tear it apart and make sure they don't clump and become one huge ball when you put it in the pan thing that you cook stuff in, that. All right, anyways, so this is my favorite part, making the cheese. Don't mind the bottom pan. All of our dishes that are good were dirty because they turned the water off and I forgot about it and I couldn't reuse the ones I like. Anyways, I use a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream that's organic, as always. And then I'm going to add Tillamook shredded cheddar cheese. You can put a block in here, but it might burn and melt to the bottom pan. So using shredded cheese is awesome. I don't buy the pre-shredded cheese. I like to shred it myself in a food processor. And then I put a whole cup of cheese in here. This is the next step. We're going to boil the noodles just like you would boil any noodles, except for you only have to boil it for like 2 to 3 minutes. So I used a spoon because when I was like trying to put my fingers on it, if you try to like drop your fingers, you get burnt by boiling hot water. So anyways, I got a wooden spatula because I don't use plastic in my house because plastic's bad for the environment, or I try not to. And then as you can see, I didn't really like the consistency, so I added a little bit more heavy whipping cream. The measurements I give for the cheese are based on personal preference. I've always liked super cheesy, super awesome flavors, and some people like it a little more mild, a little bit waterier, I guess would be a good term, with like heavy whipping cream. So I'm just kind of monitoring it. You really want to watch the cheese. If you don't watch the cheese, it's going to burn to the pan, and you're going to ruin your cheese, and you're going to be upset, so don't do it, okay? Strain the noodles like you would any noodles in a colander, and then mix it up together. Obviously, I'm cheese obsessed, and I kept going and going. One of my favorite things to do, which I had already made mac and cheese to try it out before I recorded this, I used Parmesan cheese in this. I remade it because the noodles were successful and the recipe was successful and I loved it, but Parmesan cheese is my jam. I don't know where I went. I don't know what I'm doing. Probably cleaning. Oh, I went to get butter. Okay, so, just kidding. I knew what I was doing. I went to get butter because, you need to add butter to your stuff. So you would use like a whole stick just like you would in, well, at least just like I did with your box mac and cheese, not from any brands. And then you melt it in there and you're all done. And look how happy you are. I'm so excited.